Here at the Improver Group, we have a phrase that we like called good and getting better. And so sometimes people wonder, well, as a general rule, what are most leaders doing good at, but where could they get better? And what I would say is that a lot of leaders are really good at knowing they need to grow in their leadership. And so they do things like listen to a podcast here and there. They read a book here and there. They maybe are involved in some type of a cohort or ongoing group. So a lot of people who are put in positions of leadership, they sense the need that they require the input and the insight of other people to help them on their own journey. And so I think that's really good that a lot of leaders recognize they need to be getting some content from others. Where I think that leaders could get better is by being more strategic with that and not just taking any and all information. There's lots of bad information that you can absorb related to leadership out there. There are things that can actually be detrimental for your own business or organization if you were to implement that advice. So leaders need to be more careful about who they let into their inner circle, and they need to be more intentional about what are these core characteristics. What are the habits and disciplines? What is the pathway that I'm on? And how do I know what my level of health is? Are there any objective measurements or assessments or ways to know if I'm growing as a leader instead of just spinning my wheels and just randomly getting content haphazardly? So we would encourage leaders, be intentional, get a strategy, link up with the right people for your leadership journey. So people may wonder, what role does faith have in the leadership journey, and what role does faith have here at Improver Group? And what I would tell you on that is there's different ways of viewing faith, and we kind of talk sometimes about people being faith-driven. And for us, what that means is that faith is important to them. It's part of what propels them forward. It is a lot of the motive, and it's the energy behind not just how they run their business, but how they live their lives. And so what does that mean to be a faith-driven leader? Well, that comes in varying degrees, and there's lots of details on it. But at the core, what I would say is that you believe that there is a God who created the world and that He created it with you in mind, and that you're uniquely made as an individual, and that you are put on this planet with a purpose, and that He has a plan for you to live out. And so your greatest win as a leader is to be able to discover Him and that plan and to be able to walk that out in your life. Of course, that also means as a faith-driven leader that you see this world as being bigger than just the time you spend on this planet, that you have a more eternal mindset. You also believe in principles like integrity and serving others and living according to values that are timeless as we find them in Scripture. Many times leaders find themselves at a plateau. They're stuck and they just feel like they're spinning their wheels. They did some incredible work to get them where they are, but they can't seem to get beyond that. They're not getting promoted. They're not seeing increases in productivity. And they're really just kind of beginning to go through the motions. And so what causes that? And what I would say is it all goes back to intentionality. And at some point you were intentional about seeking out tools, resources, learning new skills, and that got you to where you are. But yet, as the book by Marshall Goldsmith says, what got you here won't get you there. And so sometimes you have to shift. The things that got you to this position of leadership are not the same skills. They're not the same systems, resources, and habits that get you to the next level. So we would encourage you to think about it. If you feel plateaued, if you feel a little stuck, like you're not making progress and you're not improving, is it because you're relying on the old ways and you haven't given some thought to new methods, new tools, new resources?